We got our hands on the raw footage of Kamala Harris's 60 Minutes interview. Last October, in the heat of the election, Harris, Hail Mary with CBS. But the network was caught deceptively editing this answer. Watch.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening. The Wall Street Journal said that that your administration has repeatedly been blindsided by Netanyahu. And in fact, he has rebuffed just about all of your administration's entreaties.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region. And we're not going to stop doing that. We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Trump sued CBS for $10 billion, and it looks like they might settle. But before that happens, the FCC released the full interview, unedited, and we have the tape.
Now, before they play the tape, her first answer to me, listening to that, it sounded like she was saying that they were supporting Israel in their movements.
Talked for an hour and left a lot out. Here's an answer that never made air. Watch.
I'm trying to understand how it is that with this emphasis on the border, the numbers of crossings quadrupled under the first 3 years of the Biden-Harris administration. How did that happen?
There are a variety of factors that relate to what we have seen globally and what we are not immune from at our own border in terms of what we have seen in terms of surge of immigration and irregular migration. And there are solutions at hand, but we've got to have leaders who are solution-oriented, which we've been and are.
CBS also cut out their host pressing Kamala on how she's going to pay for all of her giveaways.
If all of this makes so much sense, why has this not been done? You're dealing with a Congress that is divided, that many are in opposition to not only you but your policies. So how are you going to make this come true?
Bill, if I approached my life as though, well, it's never been done before, therefore it cannot be done, I wouldn't be sitting here in this interview with you. That's the truth.
Then 60 Minutes tossed Kamala a big fat softball, and she swung and missed.
The most basic of questions. Why do you want to be President of the United States?
There are many reasons, but probably first and foremost, I truly believe in the promise of America. I do. And I love the American people. You know, we are a people who have ambition and aspirations and dreams and optimism and hope.
That's why you want to run. That's why you want to be president.
That's why I'm running. That and some other reasons.
But you're asking the American people to make you the most powerful person on the planet. Mm-hmm. Why do you deserve the American people's votes?
Well, first of all, I have a career and a history of being very clear that I think of my role of leadership, and in particular now for the last 4 years as vice president and moving forward as president, if the voters will have me, as being a leader on behalf of all Americans.
Wow.
Kamala wasn't the only one having a rough night. One of the crew guys misgendered Madam Vice President.
Is that what you needed?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Damn.
Of silence, please, for room time.
Fire that dude. All right. We may have dodged a bullet. We may have dodged a bullet. She didn't have any good answers. I almost feel bad for her a little bit because those answers are really, really bad. Who is giving her these answers, or is she just coming up with this on her own? Like, they're not preparing her for these interviews. Even if you say the Democrats are cheating, right? You can't even win like this. Even if you're cheating, if they cheated, they still didn't win. Even if U.S. aid was paying the left-wing media to make the Democrats look good, they still would lose. Even if they release that entire thing, they would still lose. Why is it that nowadays you only see Democrats trying to cover their butt all the time? It's always Democrats trying to talk themselves out of something, or edit in videos to make themselves look good to a voter class right before an election. Wow, somebody should pay a fine, or somebody should go to jail or something, because this is... Now here's a clip from the Joe Rogan Experience where he's talking about a book that's a Democrat operative had wrote about the Kamala campaign, where they basically bashed Joe Rogan for not being truthful about having Kamala come on his show. So let's go ahead and watch that and see what's going on here.
I guess it's probably a good time to talk about this. There was a thing that came out recently. There was a book. There was some book about the Kamala Harris campaign where they talked about her getting on this show. And they said a bunch of things that weren't true. They talked to supposedly talked to like 150 different people about her and what happened with her coming on the show. I don't know if it's 150. A lot of people. They didn't talk to us, and which is kind of crazy. And which is like they didn't even ask. But they said things that just weren't true. One of the things they said that weren't true was that we lied about the day that Trump was coming on. No, we just didn't tell you that Trump was coming on. He was already booked a long time ago. This is how it worked. Trump was really easy to book, like super easy. We offered one day. He said yes. That was it. There was no, what are we going to talk about? How long is it going to be? Is it going to be edited? There was nothing. Yeah. What's the waiver? Here, give me that waiver. Sign it. It was so easy. So he was already booked. They never committed to doing the show. So all this talk, there was another thing they said that the reason why they did the Beyonce thing, the Beyonce event in Houston, was so that they could be in Texas to do my show. They never agreed to do the show. None of that's true. They never agreed.
That's fucked.
They also said that they sent someone down here to the studio to do a walkthrough of the set. That's not true. The Trump administration did. I mean, if they are trying to say that they, as in the entire federal government, well, I don't think the Trump, well, I guess the Secret Service is a part of the federal government. Maybe you can kind of get away with saying that because the Secret Service came down here for Trump and looked around, that we sent someone down, but it was not. It was the Trump administration sent them down because they're the only ones that had a date to do the show. These people didn't have a date to do. They never agreed to do the show. This is really important. Even after Trump went on, they offered for me to come to D.C. and do a show with Kamala. But even then, it was the same deal. It was only like 45 minutes to an hour. And, it was not on my set. And I said that, look, he did it here. We should probably do it here. Like, if it's possible to do it here. Obviously, when he did it, it had an enormous result. I'm willing to do the same thing for her. I wanted to release both of them on the same day. This was my goal. I was even trying to figure out if there was a way that I could do it, and I even offered to do it late that night. So the night that Trump came on, I'm like, what if we do her, like when she's done in Texas, if she came here? But no one ever committed to doing it. This is like really important because they keep pretending that I lied or I did this or I did that. They never committed to doing it. Well, we went through... I've got a whole, we have all the receipts, by the way.
Of course.
I have a whole list of conversations that took place. They never said she was going to do it. So this whole idea that we fucked her over and then we fucked her over for Trump, incorrect. Just not true.
And she,
but I think it's someone trying to cover their ass for the fact that she never did it, and if she did do it, it might have had a positive effect.
Yeah.
If her and I had a good time and we got along great, and she won over, the air quote young male vote, things could have been different. Who knows? So this guy's probably trying to cover his ass.
Wow, so that was a lie too. I'm not even surprised anymore that Democrats seem to lie about everything. why was it so difficult for her to come on Joe Rogan though? Why only Joe Rogan? Because she did other podcasts. I can almost guarantee you that if she became the president, we would not be seeing any of this corruption being gutted out of the government right now with Elon Musk and Doge. For sure. I'm positive that we would have basically a continuation of the last 4 years with Joe Biden if Kamala Harris won the presidency. All right, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you later. Peace. Whoops.